Hi, you're watching Sealclops book reviews. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a longer review. I'm going to be reviewing books 2 through to 5 of the Curvy Girls Club written by Kelsie Stelting. Enjoy! The Curvy Girls Club, written by Kelsie Stelting. So, like I just said, I'm going to be reviewing books 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you're wondering why I'm not reviewing book one, that's because I already have. So see some of my previous book reviews to find that one if you would like. Okay, so I did an overall sort of genre trope thing and a bit about the book, that sort of thing, like I usually do. So the genre slash trope, romance, young adult, coming of age, new romance, body image. They're the main ones. A bit about the books. So Kelsie Stelting has written an enjoyable young adult series featuring teenage girls struggling with their self-esteem, body image issues, and futures. Each book features a different girl from the Curvy Girls Club, a special group created by and for curvy girls. Although the series is currently made up of 12 books, only the first 5 are of the main girls. So after this, we introduce to a few of the girls in the year below who eventually make up the Curvy Girls Club 2.0. And how does it match up to my expectations? So you may, like I said, you may notice that I have not included the first book in this review. That is because I read it a while ago and reviewed it separately. It also, unfortunately, was not a favourite of mine. So I did not plan to continue on with the series, in fact, but was drawn in by a snippet read from the 5th book, I think it was. I'm very glad I did, as the books got better and better as I went. So if I just stopped after book 1, I would have missed out on some pretty sweet and nice to read books. So book number 2 is Curvy Girls Can't Date Billionaires. The summary. How much money does it take to buy a broken heart? There are 3 things I hate: rich people, boys, and Kai Rush. Kai happens to be all 3. He and his dad have all the money in the world from the game app they created. And what do they do with it? They buy private helicopters and flaunt their brand new Teslas. Never mind that people like my mum and I work multiple jobs just to keep our crappy apartment and pay back medical bills because my dad ran scared and left us alone. So when my mom tells me we have a new cleaning job at the Rushes before school, I'm peeved. When he starts texting me, I'm floored. Fit billionaires like him and plus-size scholarship kids like me barely belong at Emerson Academy together, much less in the same message thread. How can I get him to see I'm not the catch he thinks I am? More importantly, how can I get my heart to stay on the same page? So the analysis, what I did, each individual book, I gave a star rating and then I gave an overall rating for all 5, or technically 4 at the end. So this one I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Plot and theme. Jordan has a hard life. As a scholarship student at the prestigious Emerson Academy, she must keep her head down and work extra hard to make it through the day. But her day does not start when everyone else's does. She is up before 4 a.m. each morning to help her mum with her cleaning service in order to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table. Not to mention to pay off the crippling medical bill left over from her deceased sister. But when they land a job that can change it all, Jordan must keep her distaste for their billionaire clients hidden deep. When her mother gives her only one rule to follow going into this job, she laughs at the absurd boundary given. She must not date their billionaire client's son. Yeah, right. Like that would ever happen. Pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. So I enjoyed this book a lot more than the first in the series. I very almost did not come back after that one. However, I'm glad that I did. Without the overbearing mother shoving diets down her daughter's throat, this series is actually quite enjoyable. The only thing that had me rolling my eyes was the way the teenagers acted with money. A day in the life of a billionaire. Okay, let's take my helicopter from my roof to a deserted tourist island after school. No biggie. I remember reading that and just going, oh, yeah, of course, that's just a typical day. A bit about the main characters. So Jordan is plus size, works for her mum's cleaning service, scholarship student, can barely afford more than rice and beans, handles more than she should need to, and wants to become an oncologist. And then we have Kai. So he is lean and fit, co-owner of a $1 billion app, misunderstood, doesn't give money much thought, has a big heart, and wants to lead his own life. Next up, we have book 3, which is Curvy Girls Can't Date Cowboys. The summary. The one thing my parents can't shelter me from is my heart. I nearly died the summer of my 8th grade year, and ever since then my parents have done everything they could to keep me healthy. Now I'm a senior, and instead of feeling safe, I'm suffocating. When my parents take my twin sisters out of town for an audition, I have my chance to show them that I'm responsible, that I can go to college on my own and start a life outside of their organic food store and Emerson Academy. All I have to do is turn in all my assignments and have a few quiet nights at home. No problem. That is until my video project partner decides to be a total flake. Ray may be hot and fill out a pair of Wrangler jeans like nobody's business, but he is not ruining my chance at freedom. I go to his family's ranch to get his help, but instead discover something else. Could everything my parents taught me be wrong? Unless I act fast, my quiet weekend will ruin my chance of freedom and wreck my heart faster than the flash of my camera. The analysis. So this one again I gave 3.5 stars out of 5. Plot and theme. Ginger is smothered. Very much so. Her life is a thoroughly planned out schedule, dictating how she must act, eat, want, and believe. Her parents have taken helicopter parenting to a whole new level, and all because of a life-threatening case of pneumonia when she was in the 8th grade. When she gets paired with a school cowboy for a school project, things should be smooth sailing, especially as he happens to be her longtime crush. But when he finds out what her parents do for a living, things turn ugly fast. Ray is a farmer. He supports his family by working the land and raising cattle. So when he is paired with the daughter of the town's most prominent organic food and lifestyle advocates, it is hard to see her as anyone who isn't intent on ruining his primary source of income. Pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. So once again, a lot better than the first book in the series. I have found that I really do not like the parents in any of the books. The mum in the second book wasn't as bad as the rest, but in this book, I wanted to hurt Ginger's parents for what they were doing. I found the pacing and ending very satisfying for this installment. The emotions got to me whilst reading. I actually shed a few tears when reading how Ginger was struggling to deal with everything going on. The plot holes were many when it came to how outdated and unrealistic Ginger's parents acted and treated her. So I had a real issue with her parents. Bit about the characters. So Ginger, plus sized, pale with bright red hair, talented videography student, almost died when 14ish, so 8th grade, I think I said, has asthma, extremely controlled and sheltered by her parents. And then there's Ray, naturally muscular with blonde hair and blue eyes, runs his family farm, took over when his father died at 14ish again, scholarship student, and had to grow up fast and be the man of the house. Next up, we have book 4, which is Curvy Girls Can't Date Bad Boys. The summary. An arranged marriage and a bad boy who breaks all the rules. My father's been planning my wedding day for longer than I have. Since I turned 17, he's sent me on date after date with people from the film industry, producers, directors, actors. I've dated and turned down them all. But Ryan Alexander is the worst. He's vapid, self-obsessed, and it doesn't help that his sister is evil in a pair of Louis Vuitton heels. Let's see if I said that right. Too bad he's the one my dad is determined to send me down the aisle with the day I turn 18. My only escape is a food delivery boy and a motorcycle. My dad would have a heart attack if I got on. But I don't care. I need to get away. And Ronan is more than happy to take me. But this forbidden getaway driver is starting to mean more to me than the man I'm supposed to marry. The only problem is I may not have a choice. The analysis. So this one is 4 out of 5 stars. So they're slowly getting better. In my opinion, I enjoyed this one a lot more than the previous 2, 3. Even though it's, as you'll see, I put below the dad, drove me bonkers. Plot and theme. Zara has lived with the knowledge of her impending nuptials her entire life. Born into a family that honours Indian tradition, she knew that she would be expected to have an arranged marriage one day. She just did not expect that day to be the day after high school graduation. Putting up with her father arranging date after date with men almost double her age, Zara wants nothing more than to break away from this tradition and focus on her senior year. When her latest fake boyfriend leaves her to fend for herself at a late night party she didn't want to go to, only to be abandoned, Zara decides to go home, even if that means walking across town in the middle of the night. But as she makes her way down the deserted street, she finds herself staring into a pair of familiar and enchanting eyes. Eyes that draw out feelings she has not before experienced with her previous dates. Pacing, emotion, ending in plot holes, so I really enjoyed the emotions shared between Zara and Ronan throughout this book. I did feel like he overreacted when they were having troubles. Also, like the previous books, I really disliked Zara's father. His reasons for forcing Zara into a loveless marriage were insane and entirely outdated. He did not care for her feelings and truthfully should not have had a say in this aspect of her life. I like the length of these books, the pacing is easy to follow without getting bored. I also enjoyed the happily ever after ending where the girl got the guy. A little bit about these characters. So Zara is of Indian heritage, one of the richest at Emerson Academy. Father owns a movie production company, is known as the loud confident friend, feels alone, down to earth. Forgot to add in there plus size, but they all are. Like, you can figure that out by the name of the series. Then there is Ronan, and I spelled his name wrong. That's supposed to be A-N. Walked away from his family's money, was physically abused growing up, covered his scars with tattoos, helps out everyone around him, is part of a secret group, and feels things deeply. And last but not least, we have book 5, which is Curvy Girls Can't Date Best Friends. As you'll probably know if you've watched my other reviews, I have a soft spot for best friends becoming lovers. So I was really looking forward to this one. A bit of a shorter summary for this one. So it was all fake dating and games until my heart got involved. I wanted to have the best summer ever, to have my first kiss and finally get my brother's best friend to notice me. So I talked my best friend Carson into helping. He'd do anything for me and I'd do the same for him. But somewhere between fake dating and pretending to fall in love with him, I fell for real. And it was the dumbest thing I ever did. Or I've ever done. And this one, 4 out of 5 stars. Quite enjoyed it. I think out of all 5 books, this is probably my favourite. So, say something. Plot and theme. Kelly and Carson first met when they were 10 years old. With Carson moving right next door, he and his sisters hope that this move will be the change needed to alleviate his father's problems. But as time goes on, we get a glimpse into Carson's troubled life with his abusive father. Noticing something not quite right with the new boy next door, Kelly goes out of her way to make him feel comfortable, even giving him access to the spare bedroom in her house. As they both grow, discovering more about each other and themselves, it becomes apparent to everyone but each other that they are destined to be together. I didn't want to write too much more than that because it would have given too much away. But really enjoyed this one, and I actually forgot to mention that it is written in alternating point of views, so you actually get to find out what they're both thinking going forward, which was really nice. And then pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. As a surprising change, Kelly's parents are not only lovely but understanding as well. It makes a great change from the previous books. I have a really soft spot for best friends to lovers and therefore really enjoyed the emotions and romance throughout. The way Carson feels for Kelly is something many people dream about. The emotions were very strong, drawing me into the happiness and the angst. And then a bit about these last two main characters. So we have Kellie, very nice to everyone. Tried to get over her crush for Carson at 15 to 16. Suffers from psoriasis all over. Gave up sports because of bullies. Part of the marching band and thinks Carson is too good for her. And then we have Carson. Does everything with Kellie, has been in love with her since he was 10, but tried to move on. Attempted to admit his feelings over the years, part of the football team, and thinks he is cursed to be abusive. The recommendation. So, although I have not reviewed the entire series, I believe that you can get away with only reading the first 5 books in the Curvy Girls Club. As I mentioned before, these 5 books represent the primary group of girls and their experiences. This is a lovely young adult series heavy on emotions and heartfelt confessions. If you do not like a particular character, you can easily jump to another without missing any important information. And then my overall review for the series is 3.5 stars out of 5. That's for, well, technically it's for book 2, 3 to 5, because I can't actually remember what I gave book 1 off the top of my head. But yeah, so that's for all books combined. So an enjoyable, heartfelt and body positive series about curvy girls overcoming perceived flaws to get their happily ever afters. And there you have it. That is my review on Kelsie Stelting's books 2 through 5 of the Curvy Girls Club. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a very lovely young adult series. The most they do is kiss pretty much throughout, so it's lovely, easy read for most ages, I guess. Yeah, really nice thing to, it's just an easy read. So definitely give it a go if you'd like. Let me know what you think. Bye.